Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Man United Agenda. My name is the OS, and I'll be your host for today's show. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Man United Agenda. On today's show, we're going to discuss all the latest transfer news with everything regarding Manchester United. But before that, we're going to give you this amazing eclectic panel that we have today. So first of all, welcome back, Mr. B. Welcome back, Munzi. And then we have three new guests on the show today. We have RJ, Robotic Jaguar. We have Red Devil Studio. And then we also have Kojo, 3 in midfield. So I just want to quickly, before we start and get into this juicy transfer topics that we discuss, just the three new guys. I'll start with you, RJ. Just let everyone know who you are and where you're from and where they can find you.
Look, I'm Robotic Jaguar. You can find me on all social medias. I'll be pretty much doing content on that. And that's pretty. I come from Ireland, and big up the Reds. Amazing Ireland. It's so good that we've got international everyone. I mean, I'm from Canada, you're from Ireland, someone's from London. It's amazing. Let's go to Red Devil Studio. Please let us know where people can find you.
Old Man G from Red Devil Studio. So it's another Manchester United fan channel. I'm also on Twitter at WeUnitedX. I often do match previews, also post-match reactions, cover a lot of things. Do a podcast every so often. I like to just come on people's channels and talk Manchester United. So yeah.
Amazing. Welcome. We're happy to have you. Mate. Thank you. And lastly, we're going to go to Kojo from 3 in midfield. Go on, Kojo. Let us know where they can find you.
Kojo. I'm a Londoner. You can tell by my accent, obviously. And I'm on 3 midfield podcast, which is a podcast between me and my best friend, my co-host. We talk football, Premier League, but also internationals and stuff. We do a bit of commentary here and there. So on YouTube, 3 midfield podcast, and on your Spotify, Twitter, SoundCloud, Apple Podcast, 3 midfield. The number 3 in midfield. That's it.
Amazing. Okay, before we start, guys, I just want to remind you, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you comment so that we can engage with you and give you all the latest content that's going to be coming from this channel. Now, let's get into it. Before we get into the transfer speculations and everything, guys, we signed Rafael Varane. And first of all, I'm just really shocked with the business of this deal. Like, that's not something Manchester United are known for, doing good business. The time that we did this deal as well, how quick this deal was, when considering we've just signed a big deal like, say, Jadon Sancho. And then thirdly, the quality and the quality of the player that we're getting right now. I just want to know how you guys are feeling and how this signing is going to impact Man United going into the new season. So I'm going to go first of all, let's say with Kojo. Kojo, what are you saying with that signing?
It's obviously a huge signing. I think for a long time we've had we've definitely had doubts about our defense. Since Rio Ferdinand and Vidic have gone, Smalling, Jones, Lindelof, Bailly, Cameron, Bothwick, Jackson, all these random names. Paddy McNair, shout out him as well. We've had a lot of up and down with defenders. And when we signed Maguire, me personally, I was the one that was really keen on him because I really saw that on him at his time at Leicester, regardless of the fee. But he's come in last season really good and then had a very good Euros as well. So it looks like he's got to the next level with his performance. He's the captain. And he needed someone that, for me, is just reliable. So you can look at it and just say, look, I have confidence in my partner. And if I'm a midfielder, I have confidence in the man behind me. And with a goalkeeper, I have confidence in both men in front of me. And Rafael Varane has that confidence. We can list his accolades. We can list the players he's played with. The fact is, he brings a wealth of experience. He's not a small boy anymore. We heard about this boy about 18 years old. He was linked with us when it was at loans. So, you've got someone that you can look at and you can finally say, all right, cool, we've got someone that has done it all. Because he's literally won it all with Real Madrid. There's no competition he's played it with at Real Madrid where he hasn't won it. He's won all of it, and he's played a key part in it. It's not been like Nacho Fernandez. He's literally been the star next to Sergio Ramos in that defense for Real Madrid.
Yeah,
when they were doing the historic 3 in a row Champions League, the another one they added with Carlo Ancelotti. So it's a big signing. It's a big signing. And what you said about doing great business, 2 things on that. One, the fee is absolutely ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
And the second thing is the fact that we got it done before the 1st of August, which is a damn shock for me.
Yeah.
Because we delayed transfers for far too long. And whether it's Woodward trying to leave himself like leave on a nice note because he's been criticised, rightfully so, for United, or whether it's Murto finally putting his imprint on the team and saying, look, this is what we need. We need to do it now. We need to be fast. We need to be quick. We need to be effective. Whoever's doing it, I applaud you. And keep it going. So now we're talking about midfielder. Apparently, you have your Romanos and all these guys saying, United are definitely in the window for midfielder now. So they're not done yet. There is still business. We're hearing Trippier maybe still coming as well. If this is the point and you're going to get it done, we've got, I think, 16, 17, maybe 18 days till the league starts. Continue on the same level and get this business done. It's a good start so far. Can't be bad.
I mean, you hit some very, very good points there. I mean, one of the points I'm going to touch on, the midfield, you said, we could possibly be going for a midfielder next. Red Devil Studio, now that we've signed Varane, and you know what Varane does for us is, it helps us go push our lineup that much more on the pitch. Do you think we need a central defensive midfielder the way everybody's craving for that right now? Because we have someone like Varane who can cover the spaces that, a Lindelof usually wouldn't be able to cover? Or do you think, no, we still definitely need a central defensive midfielder in order for us to win the big trophies? What are you saying?
I mean, I don't think we necessarily need a central defensive midfielder. However, the limitation for me with Fred and McTominay is that, they can't really pass. They can't really bring the ball out. They're not that great with that in that respect. They're good. Fred certainly is obviously a good tackler, can recover the ball. But can McTominay and Fred really distribute? They can't really do that. And you really can't play both of them together. My concern for going to next season is, okay, if you have Varane Maguire, you still think our midfield is going to be Fred, McTominay, and potentially Bruno. I don't think that's a good enough midfield to I wouldn't say to compete for the Premier League, but win it and win the Champions League. I'm not entirely sure, because whatever you say about Chelsea and the Tuchel, the midfield that Chelsea had, I would still say is better than our midfield currently. So I do think that us having a central midfielder is important. Certainly, I'm not saying spend 80 million, 100 million on one, but certainly someone who can make recovery tackles and can distribute. I think that's key. Someone like Ndidi, for example, Leicester can do both. He's got a good work rate, he can tackle, but his distribution as well, so he can lay up the ball forward to like a Pogba or Bruno, and suddenly that transition from back to front is much smoother and quicker, and we can do bits.
No, it's some very good points you made there. RJ, do you agree with what he was saying there, Red Devil Studio, regarding that someone like an Ndidi may be the thing that we need that could possibly take us from contending to actually winning the big trophies? And when I say the big trophies, I'm talking about the Premier Leagues, the Champions Leagues, not necessarily the Carabao Cups. What are you saying to that?
Yeah, I mean, he makes some very good points. I mean, yeah, Ndidi would be a great player to get, but we do have to understand the fact that he's a Leicester player. And guess what? We signed who? We signed Harry Maguire from Leicester, and guess how much we had to pay for him? 80 million. So you're going to have to see how much do we have to pay for Ndidi? Because let's be real, he's a very vital part for Leicester, so he'd definitely be on the market from 80 million to 100 million. Then you look at players like Rice. I mean, Rice there's no way we should get him. I mean, Phillips outperformed him in the Euros, and West Ham are asking for 100 million for him, so I don't think we should go for him. Saul, I mean, he's been rumored for us for the last 5-6 years. I mean, he's done it all at Atletico. To be fair, he won La Liga. He's obviously they came close to the Champions League final, but I mean, look, he'd be a very interesting signing. 26 years old. Very vital part of Atletico Madrid. I couldn't see why not. We should go for a CDM. I think, like I said, obviously we signed Sancho. Like I said, Varane is very, very close of well, like, so it's confirmed. But like I said, we need to do the medical and all that crack. So once we get that done, he's our player. Yeah, like I said, a CDM should be priority, and I think we should get it done all before the Leeds game, in my opinion, personally.
Okay, well, thank you so much for those thoughts. I'm going to quickly, before we move on to the next topic, I'm going to quickly go through some of the comments. We've had a few people in here watching. So Jeremy on YouTube, he says, yo, hello, Jeremy. On Monday from the Man United agenda, he says, hi, OS, big respect to you tuning in while watching the game. Interesting to hear any updates or speculation. So we'll keep on giving you some information on Monday. Can you guys describe what we will be getting in Saul as a player? So who wants to answer this question? Any of you, go.
Yeah, Saul is someone who, firstly, is more of a, what's the best way to describe it? Sort of like a rotational option at Atletico. So he's not a certified star, but the good thing about Atletico is over the years with Partey, with Koke, with Saul and all that, Koke can play on the right side and Saul was Partey.
What a goal!
Did you score?
Sorry, yeah, lovely banger. Oh, Alanga.
Hey, let's go.
There we go. That's a good young talent, by the way. That's a good young talent.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Saul, I think we're getting someone who is very industrious. I think that's the best way for me to describe him. Now, the issue with signing Saul is he normally plays in the 2 in Atletico Madrid because he knows they like to play 4-4-2 under Simeone.
Yeah.
And there's not so much an issue, but the idea that United fans, obviously, we want, or a lot of us want, a central defensive midfielder, someone that could play in the 4-3-3. The reason why I'm not mad at the Saul links is because I don't think Ole favors the 4-3-3. I think he still favors the 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
And if we are going to change out that midfield and break up a midfield that we've given an affectionate name to, called McFred, despite the fact that we're not affectionate about them whatsoever. If we can somehow break that apart and just split that tag name or remix name that they've got together, we can split it apart and put someone of quality like Saul in that midfield that boosts us a level. He's good defensively. Tactically, he's always aware. Yeah. He's always alert to danger. And when it comes to contributing, as to taking the ball going forward, he's a very progressive passer. He's got a decent range of passing, and he's not afraid to do the dirty work. So, if we lose possession, his pressing game is quite good. Let's get it quite quick. And he contributes, and I genuinely feel like he's one of the players in football that would complement a Bruno or a Pogba or whoever else you want to put in that midfield. He's actually complementary to a lot of players because at Atletico he's played with many different players in that 4-4-2 role. Yeah. So that's the kind of player we'll be getting. And if we sign him, me personally, I'll be smiling. Even if you'll be like, I wouldn't understand. Me, I'll be happy.
Well, thank you for that. On Monday, I hope that answers your question. I mean, that was proper in-depth. It was good. DC says, yo, DC. Solo, good evening, gentlemen. Solo.
Good evening, boss.
Big boss on FTV. Rich Sports says, big up G. Big up Rich Sports. And then on Monday again, some podcast giants on tonight. Loving the panel. Great points so far. Nodding in agreement. Thank you so much on Monday. And then lastly, Rich Sports, how much do you think NDD will cost? For me, I think easily 60 million at least. I don't know what you guys think. What do you think? What were you saying?
How many years?
It's going to be quite a bit.
Let me see that.
There's a lot of players you can buy for 60 million. And if that's the money that we want to spend on that sort of midfielder, it wouldn't be on Ndidi. I don't know what would be out there, but I wouldn't be spending 60 on Ndidi.
Okay. All right. Well, talking about spending. The biggest incomings that we're hearing right now, Trippier is one that we're hearing that we're really interested in. We're just a bit put off by the price range. And then the second one as well is Saul Niguez, as we've just mentioned. So I think my question is, do you guys think that any of these deals will happen between now and the end of the transfer window? Or do you think that we have to let players go first, sell players in order to bring things in to be able to afford these guys? I'm going to come to you, Mr. B. What would you think about this?
We're going to have to sell players. We will have to sell players. What I'm hoping is that the players who they want to get rid of, they know who they are, regardless of who they are, make the decisions and get them done. This is a big issue with Man United. We pay them players so much money for being worthless, i.e. Phil Jones, that nobody wants to take them. Nobody wants to take these players.
Yeah.
So I want it to be, we need to move. Yeah, we do need to move. We need to move quickly. I think we've probably got space for another one in the actual squad. But then he has to start removing players, because at the moment we're overloaded with a lot of what we would maybe players who, you know, should be moved on, players who aren't quite good enough. I could think of 4 or 5 to get, even if it's just to get them off. They're never going to let players go for free.
Yeah.
But well, I say that now, and then Pogba will probably walk out the door on a free in the summer. But I think deals need to be done, and the way that they've done the buy-in in regards to the speed. I'm looking at Varane. What's Varane? 5 weeks. You know, the speed that deals are being done. Hopefully, they've got that same attitude in removing the trash out of the club.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, Munzi, do you agree with what Mr. B just said there? Because I mean, we have done deals very quick. I just have a little bit of a concern that maybe the money has dried up now because of those deals, and we may need to sell and hope to sell with good prices in order to be able to bring in some of these positions that we need. What do you think?
Well, you haven't really spent too much on Sancho or Varane, if you think about it, because Varane's basically, 32 million, and then the rest is over 5 years. Same with Sancho's. Like, I don't know what the actual price was, but that someone worked out on another podcast that basically we're paying 22 million a year for like each of the player, and then we paid. I can't remember how much we paid for Sancho.
They're spreading the fees over years, as opposed to people thinking. Exactly.
That makes sense.
So, but if we could sell, I don't think Lingard's going to stay. We get 20 million for him, 20 million for Jones. Not Jones, sorry, James.
You're asking for a lot.
James, probably get 20p for Jones, but do you know what I mean? Like, that's 40 million, and then hopefully, Pogba might be for 50 million. I'll still sell De Gea. I've had enough of him, but I don't think they will. But hopefully we get 40 million, say a bit more. But I wouldn't mind Neves, to be fair. I just think Neves would be nice, just sitting there, pinging them balls about like Scholes did. It would be nice. It would be nice to have him. I know we needed a CDM, but I just like Neves. He's got a wicked shot on him. He can ping them, but he reminds me of Paul Scholes. Not as good as Paul Scholes, but it reminds me of Paul Scholes. We could do with him pinging them about. But I don't know. It's weird being a United fan, because usually, like when Ferg was there, he'd get them all in and that'd be it. And then you'd be like sitting around all summer twiddling your thumbs. And then he's got we've been doing the transfer deadline, we've been signing people on the deadline and everything like that. And now we've sort of gone back to the Fergie days where we're signing them and getting them done. I never thought we'd get Varane. I thought he'd just trying to get another contract from Real Madrid, but he wants to come. And we want players that want to come. So we don't want players that don't want to be here or just there for the money. I.e. Pogba. We want players that want to play for the badge. Do you know what I mean? We have gone. Oh, it's 1-1 now. We have gone downhill. But we're still a big club. We've got to get back to that big club status under Fergie. That's what I think. We need to get back there.
I mean, good. Some very, very good points. Just before we get to the outs, because we've mentioned a couple of outs. As the transfer stand right now, as the squad stands right now, I'm just going to quickly come to all of you. Quickly, just short answers. Who would your midfield 3 be? That is in the squad right now. The midfield 3 that you would start against Leeds. Don't think about Neves. Don't think about Ndidi. Don't have any of those players. Who we do have. So I'm going to come to you first, Mr. B. Who would be the 3 that starts for you?
That's a tough one.
Pogba.
Okay.
Bruno.
Okay.
And Phil Jones. I'm not. Look at look at his face. I'm on the wind up. I detest, bruv. I detest on the real.
That's why I talk to you first. That's why I talk to you first.
Yeah, I detest fuckeries in our midfield, so I'm not having any of them two in there. So I would take. He's got no. I'm on the wind up about Phil Jones, bro. Look at you. I'm on the wind up about Phil Jones. I honestly, we need to buy. We don't have the other. In my opinion, we don't have the other midfielders to play that position. So whoever we buy,
but you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to put. That's not the question. You're gonna have to put.
Okay.
I'll come back to you.
I would. Oh Jesus! I would take.
Go on.
I'll play Van der Beek. I'll play Van der Beek in there.
Yeah.
You think that's okay? All right. So I'm gonna come to you, Red Devil Studio, since you just agreed with him. So, do you think that's defensive enough? Every team has that defensive player that has to balance out the attack. For me, who does that work?
So first of all, your context is the Leeds game, right? So we're not talking about the season. So I think the first thing to bear in mind is that we know that Rashford is not going to be really available because he's going to have surgery for 2 months, and we also know, we're also hearing that Martial isn't really fully fit back. So based on those two things, I suspect that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to play Pogba on the left. Okay, he's going to probably Pogba on the left again. So in that midfield, what that probably means is that he will either play McTominay and Fred. I personally think that he should play Fred and Van der Beek, and then Bruno ahead. That's how I would like to see that work.
Interesting.
They get Pogba in that way, and Fred is at least a bit more defensively. If you're going to play a DM, I'd always play Fred and McTominay because Fred at least can tackle and is a bit more defensively minded than McTominay is because he tends to go forward. And when he plays with Pogba's the one that actually tends to drop deep, and McTominay goes forward. So I bench McTominay, play Fred, Van der Beek, and Bruno, and then Pogba on left because you're not going to have Martial or Rashford, and I wouldn't play Daniel James the left winger.
But we have Sancho. Sancho can play on the left. Greenwood can play on the right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but then who comes off the bench though? I'd like to at least have like that kind of impact option where, like, okay, last 30, 40 minutes we could bring someone on to make a difference rather than going all out in the first minutes. I guess you've got Alanga, who's obviously there, but
yeah, okay, fair enough. Munzi, what are you saying?
Don't know. It's a tough one. I'll probably say I want to see Van der Beek. I think Van der Beek should play. I like McTominay. I don't like Fred, so McTominay. I don't know who the other one could be. Like,
okay.
So yeah, I'll probably say McTominay. I don't want McFred. No way.
The only one that screams at me is Scott McTominay with Pogba and Bruno in front of him. I feel like
that's it. Sorry, Bruno. I missed Bruno. Yeah, Bruno, Pogba, and McTominay. I do like McTominay.
No, but that hasn't worked though this season. That's the problem.
It's only Leeds, isn't it? We don't need to put anyone. I could play in midfield. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Don't worry about it.
When we played McTominay and Pogba in that double pivot, in almost every game in the Premier season, we have either drawn or lost.
Yeah,
because and we don't create because Pogba, McTominay always goes ahead of Pogba, so Pogba becomes the holding midfielder while McTominay bombs.
Yeah,
Pogba doesn't create anything, and so when Noah up front, Bruno gets isolated and Pogba is ineffective. Whereas at least if you play Fred, people don't like Fred, but if you play Fred and Pogba will always be ahead of Fred, at least go and do something. Unless
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I do see what you're saying. Yeah, that's probably what will happen. But I do like McTominay. But yeah, as you say, he does. He's not. Pogba goes back further than we all know. Pogba's better going forward than backwards.
Yeah,
we all know that.
Exactly.
Of course.
Jojo, what are you saying? Who's your midfield three?
Who's the free in midfield? Come on.
Oh boy.
Phil Jones.
I really wish it could be Bruno, Pogba, and Jesus Christ, but so I'm gonna say those two. And you know what? Either I don't care how people feel about this. I'm not playing McTominay or Fred in my team. Either Nemanja Matic or Ghana.
No.
Listen. Hear me out. I know. I said, that's why I said I don't care what people say. Cause I'm gonna be like, Hear me out. Matic, obviously, we know that he hasn't got the legs right now. His agility has always lacked in his overall play anyway. But I feel like this is someone that is just follows instructions to a T, because we can tell Fred to follow instruction. He can win a tackle, and then when you turn to make a pass forward and it goes straight to the opposition, it's not good enough. McTominay is not positionally disciplined whatsoever. He goes to the right side far too much. I don't trust him to sit in that position and hold. And I know, Pogba and Bruno, they can run back as much as they can. They're not good. They're not that strong defensively, so that already is a problem. Matic at least has shown that he has defensive awareness. He reads the game better than those other two players. James Garner, I understand that's definitely left field. I understand that. But the thing is, and I know he just came from a low from Middlesbrough, so it's Championship, and I understand, like, come on, man. People saying, a lot of people have told me, give him one more loan, then maybe he'll be ready. For me, it's like this. Sometimes there's nothing wrong with throwing a youngster in the deep end. I'm not telling you to play him. Right. He plays well and then come and play him in the second game. I'm not saying to do that. I'm just saying right now, for having the balance, what he done when he went on loan was provide balance to that team. He played the role and he played it perfectly. We're talking about playing 4-3-3. He sat in that role. He did his thing. And he also made very good progressive passes and he shot from range very well. So he adds something extra to the game. I trust him and Matic a lot more than the other two. That's just my personal feeling.
Fair enough. RJ, you agree with that?
No, not really. I'll say it nicely. No, I mean, for me, Matic, I mean, he got wrecked against QPR. I mean, how is he going to survive against Leeds? I mean, we were talking about a Leeds side that really does make Dan James look like Lionel Messi sometimes, to be fair, with the way they play. Like I said, this team, I mean, look, Bruno and Pogba, we all know, we can all agree they are in there. They have to be in that squad. Yeah. And we all know that we do need a CDM. Like I said, Garner, for me, I understand Dojo. I understand what you mean. Like I said, there's no problem putting him in the deep end. I agree. Like I said, I do believe he could be our future CDM for many years to come. I do believe so because I do love him as a player. But the thing is, you do take in consideration that the way Leeds plays, they let you have possession and they play so wide that, like I said, players like McTominay, who literally can just take a banger, like he did first game we had against Leeds last season. He scored 2 bangers in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It could happen again, and I would love to bring in a CDM because Pogba. If we bring McTominay, Pogba will have to play backwards because sadly that's how it works. McTominay cannot play like you said. You're right about McTominay. He cannot stay in the center position. He just can't. Sadly, he can't. But regardless of the point, like I said, I would trust him over that. As for Fred, I would not start Fred because I would rather have him come on with his burst of energy, bring more life into the game, and actually give us some more chances or something like that. So, like I said, our front three, I mean, Sancho will definitely be interested on seeing like how many shots he can get. You know what I mean? So, yeah, mine would be McTominay, Bruno, and Pogba.
Okay, I mean, just to round up that last 5 minutes, I would say that really shows you, I think, how much of a central defensive midfielder we need. None of us could really agree with one person. None of them really sound like they could do the job. Matic looks like the most obvious choice. Maybe 6 years ago, he would have been perfect for that position right now. So hopefully Man United are listening and we do get a great central defensive midfielder or a midfielder that gets that job done and makes the other midfielders shine around him as well. Let's just read a few more comments before we quickly go to the outs. So I'm going to quickly go to here, which I saw earlier on, Linville. Welcome back, Linville. Ain't Saul talking to Liverpool? I'm not sure if Sal's talking to Liverpool. I know Liverpool are interested in Saul, but Liverpool have a big issue with buying players right now. I know they want to replace Gini Wijnaldum, but at the same time, I think they have to sell before they buy. They're in a really, really tight financial situation. So I hope we can snatch him before.
Can I just interject to that point? The Saul thing needs to be taken to the context that Barcelona and Atletico Madrid are obviously negotiating regarding the back and forth of Griezmann for Saul. So I think the whole we're linked to Saul, Liverpool linked to Saul is contingent on whether or not Barcelona and Atletico Madrid's Griezmann for Saul transfer will fall through. Most likely not, he will go to Barcelona. So Griezmann can upload Griezmann to their wages. Otherwise, Barcelona can't sign players, so they need to get rid of Griezmann somehow. So that's why I think probably not likely, because Barca are desperate, and I think
and he probably wants to go there.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
What are we saying about Leon Goretzka?
I think Leon Goretzka is using United to get a deal at Bayern. I think that's what's happening.
Okay.
No, I think it's his new agency that he had a new agency, and United are like trying to propose a new deal to him, but he wants to stay in Munich. There's no way he wants to leave. I mean, he loves it. He loves playing with the players like Kimmich, especially. Yeah, we'd love to have him, but I don't think he wants to come. So I don't think he's a player that we need, especially. So, but like I said, I would take Leon Goretzka 110%.
Yeah.
He's a freaking machine.
And Anthony Herbert here says, I heard that Man United are spending this season because they hardly got any money to spend next season unless you sell to buy. Could be true. We don't know. We'll see what happens. But at least we're spending. That's the important thing. Here, Pogba, Bruno, Fred. That's his. I mean, I'm a bit nervous about having Fred as the last man. I'm not going to lie to you there.
I don't want to see him ever again.
Solo says, Mr. B, stop tarnishing Fred's reputation. Mr. B does not like Fred, boy. Let's go to Mr. Big Phil. Matic shows he has a defensive awareness over Bruno and Pogba, while Matic is a defensive midfielder. What would you expect?
Wait, hold on, but Bruno and Pogba are not defensive midfielders, so why would I make the comparison?
No, I think he means over the others playing with Bruno and Pogba. I don't know if he means over. I mean, if
it means that. It means playing with them too. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
How much game time has Matic got in him? Really, 2 minutes?
That's a good point.
More than Van de Beek, to be fair, I swear.
Oh, damn.
Jeremy on YT says Saul or Trippier, just choose me. Okay, fair enough.
Nah.
Man really wants us to choose him. Okay, we choose you, Jeremy. Then we'll go to Fred, Mr. B. Yeah, Mr. B don't work. And then Big Phil, the last comment here. Can't see Barcelona playing with 2 CDMs in Busquets and Saul. Saul could be the one coming in to take over Busquets because Busquets is coming to the end of his career. So, it could be that. Okay, so just to quickly wrap up the show, we're going to just quickly discuss some of the rumors around the outs that we've heard. And let's make this quick. So we're hearing, first of all, Jones finally could be sold for free. I mean, if that happens, it's amazing. That's 100 grand of wages off our wage structure. So that would be great for whoever's coming in. We're hearing Tuanzebe to Newcastle. I still have faith in Tuanzebe as well, but I agree he needs game time. So Newcastle, a Premier League team, week in, week out, could be amazing for him. You guys all agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, amazing. Dalot as well. I'm hearing Dalot to AC Milan. I don't think Roma is happening anymore because Roma bought a right back, I think. So I think it's AC Milan. AC Milan want to loan him back out, but United are saying no. The only way you get him is if you buy him. I have a feeling Dalot could be a surprise this season, at United. I don't know why. I feel like he grew last season, and I feel like he has something to prove. I don't know.
I mean, I'll be honest. I didn't watch Dalot last season, so I'm not going to say to you he was good or he was bad.
Yeah.
The fact that Jose bought him is a good enough reason for him to fuck off.
Wow. Damn, that was just lock off straight away. All right. Let's go to Lingard. I think Lingard is the big one for me where we can get the most money off. I think, or maybe De Gea. Lingard or De Gea. Those two are the ones I think we could get some money off. The only thing is I think Lingard is more priority for people right now rather than a goalkeeper. Everybody has a goalkeeper right now, so nobody really wants to pay the fees that De Gea would need. So would you guys do good that Lingard leaves? Is there anyone here that wants Lingard to stay? I think that's the question.
I don't mind him staying,
You don't mind?
No. It has to be like a start. Just use the squad, a big squad to just throw him in the cup games. I don't mind that. Just have him there somewhere. You know what I mean? He's not going to be a starter. That's fine by me.
I think they'll get rid of him because he had a good season at West Ham. This is the time to get rid of him because he had a good season. Do you know what I mean? West Ham want him. 30 million. They're saying 30 million and get Rice, but I don't want Rice. I'd rather have Fred than Rice. Do you know what I mean? That's how bad I don't like Rice.
Wow.
I don't like Rice.
Wait.
He's just overrated, Rice. I just think he's overrated.
I get where he's coming from in terms of I don't think Rice is as good as everybody makes out.
No.
But you want him over Fred?
Yeah. I want Rice in.
I don't think Fred is as bad as people are making out.
Oh, jeez. Come on, please. Talk to me.
Tell him.
Fred, come on.
Tell him Red Devil Studio.
Why is it? No, I'm not saying he's great. But I don't get the whole that this guy is like this really awful.
I don't mind Fred. I don't mind
better
Fred.
passing accuracy than
Mr. B don't like Fred, man. You don't like Fred.
Okay. Can Fred pass?
No.
Yeah.
I think
passing. No.
Stevie Wonder could pass better than him, lads. Come on.
Can he tackle?
Yeah. He can tackle.
I think
without
that's
fouling.
What's the definition of a tackle?
I'm not saying fouling.
He can tackle without fouling. Of course, he can tackle without fouling.
I think tackling is his strong point. I think
tackling is very strong.
I thought running was personally.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he said.
All right. This could be a whole different show.
I tell you what though, me and you have to talk, big man, because I don't know what you're saying. We'll have our own private one. Don't watch that. We'll have our own private one.
The last two before we finish up. Martial possibly could be on his way out. We're hearing reports, they will try to maybe use him for Spurs as a switch player, and then I'm hearing something else with Dortmund. Do you guys? I personally think there's nothing in that. I think Martial will be a Manchester United player next season. You guys will agree?
Yes.
Okay. And then lastly, sorry, go on, Munzi. What are you saying?
I think he'll stay, and if he has a good season, then he will go, and then they'll sell him because he's had a good season. That's hopefully that's what I'm hoping.
You don't like Martial, do you, man?
No, I don't mind Martial. I don't mind Martial, but I just think he's just.
I don't like him.
Touch and go, isn't he?
I'm hoping we'll get the old Martial, who bagged 20 goals a season, but we're just going to get the same old lazy prick.
Yeah.
Does not run. He does not smile.
Hey, RJ, I knew I'd like you. I just knew I'd like you.
That's it.
Speak the facts. Speak the facts.
Man, you're
knew it.
All right.
I call him Jean-Paul Jeffers. Remember Francis Jeffers? That's why I call him Jean-Paul Jeffers.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sorry. Okay. Let's just Monty, I'm going to be honest, yeah? I liked these guys before they came on the show. Until 36 minutes, I'm thinking, yeah, you know what? Bar them. The man's this. Oh my head, the pain.
Let's move on.
Yeah, me and you have to have a private. You private chat, and you private chat. Oh my Lord, what am I hearing here, man?
Last one, because this is going to be interesting now. Paul Pogba. You guys
keep
30 seconds each.
30 seconds each. What are you saying?
Keep.
Sal.
Try and give him a contract. And if he rejects it again, yes, then cash in. But as far as I'm concerned right now, try and keep. Done.
Okay, Munzi.
Sal him.
Okay. What are you saying, Mr. B?
Keep.
Red Devil Studio.
He will stay and run his contract down. That's
and
what's
then
going to happen.
For free.
And then leave for free and get some. Because logically, what I would say is just think about this logically for a second. Just take emotion aside. Just think this logically. He wants to get, let's say, around maybe 350, 400k a week in his new contract, right?
Yeah.
And everyone's saying mercenary. Okay, fine, right. But then you've got to bear in mind that, if he goes to freaks who run out his contract down at the end of the season, any new club that will sign him can afford to pay 400k, 450k a week because they're not paying a transfer fee. So irrespective of it, he's going to get that money anyway because whether Barcelona, Real Madrid or PSG will say, yeah, of course we can. We can pay a transfer fee. So essentially, either we pay that money or
somebody else does.
We're going to pay that money. That's literally what it comes down to. If you just take out the emotion, that's the finances of the matter, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. RJ, what are you saying?
Keep Pogba and send his agent to Timbuktu with no internet service. I'm saying Pogba's not the problem.
Let's finish up these comments, and then we'll wrap up the show. So on Monday, I'm watching Lingard now. He still has enough energy, but I do believe his confidence will get shot without regular game time. I agree fully. Linval says, let Lingard take his dead dance moves.
Dead dance moves? Hold on.
No.
Lingard can dance, man.
A man did a Michael Jackson. That's not
dead. This man did a mini rock. This man did a mini rock in front of this man is immortal.
I will never forget that. Never forget times, man. Fred is okay, but not good enough for starting 11. Fair enough. That's not a bad shout. Monday, brother, Fred has struggled. I agree with the OS. He ain't comfortable on the ball, and we need better. Fair enough. Big Phil at running being a strong point. He's talking about Fred. Isn't that given as being a professional?
Precisely.
Because Matic can't. So
don't ask Harry Maguire to do that.
He's surprised.
Monday says Martial needs to bring more. We have plenty youths to step up and take his slot in the squad. You know, he's not lying. You know, Elenga looks beastly right now.
There you go.
Ahmad as well. Ahmad is going to be hot as well, property. So, you know, Martial needs to look over his shoulder. That is for sure. This one says, this Martial slander is wild. I agree with you. MMG 17. On Monday says, do everything to keep Pogba. He could be signing of the window if we keep him. I don't really agree with that, but I don't know. So you guys. Okay, perfect.
We've got 2 signings better than him already. So
exactly. On Monday, give the man what he wants regarding Pogba. No, not for me again. I mean, he's not done enough to give him what he wants, but that's a different conversation. TMJ17, he rejected 350k sell. You know, that's why keep a player if he isn't committed? Doesn't make sense. You know, that's what a lot of the fan base is starting to feel right now. I'm not gonna lie. Big Phil, Barcelona are struggling to pay Griezmann and Messi. Just took a 50% wage cut. How are they gonna pay Pogba? That's a good point. But I don't think not Barca, PSG. Yeah,
I mean, the fans don't even want him.
PSG can pay him for sure. No player should be on 400k. That's tap, to be honest.
Alexis Sanchez was on 400k, wasn't he?
He was on 500. He was on 500.
Remember that? Remember Sanchez, man? You know what? How many 5 assists in all this time?
I heard his 2 dogs were on wage as well. To be fair. So.
Yeah, and then the rest is all good. So yeah, that's everything. So first of all, I just want to say thank you to you guys for coming on the show. You know, it was really great chatting and really discussing what we feel with Man United going forward. We'd love we'd love to have you guys come on in the future as well, because I'm sure this is going to grow. I'm sure we're going to see more signings, more people going out the window as well. And to be honest, I think it's an exciting time right now to be a United fan. I'm not kidding. Like, we can say whatever we want about Ole, whether he's right, whether he's wrong, but one thing we can all agree on is that he's done great work in preparing the squad for the future. And I think that's the most important thing. Whoever comes in after him is coming into a gold mine. They're coming into a squad that's raring to go and win things. And that we have to give a lot of credit to Oli for sure. So thank you guys so much. Thank you to everybody who's connected with us on the comments. It's been a pleasure. And we're going to see you again next week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Peace.